This is Trustline. Trustline governs operational decisions before work is allowed to execute. Most organizations do not fail because people are unintelligent. They fail because unsupported work is allowed to move before ownership, proof, authority, and traceability are verified. By the time leadership notices the problem, the work has already moved downstream. Trustline was built for the moment before that happens. Most systems are designed to report activity. Trustline is designed to govern activity. That difference matters. A dashboard tells you what already happened. Trustline determines whether the work should continue at all. That is the core philosophy behind the system. Not faster movement, not blind automation, governed movement. In most organizations, work keeps moving even when critical conditions are missing. A request enters the system. Nobody verifies ownership. Proof is incomplete. The rule is unclear. The wrong person acts. A deadline creates pressure. And because the organization is trying to move quickly, unsupported work continues anyway. Trustline was built to interrupt that exact pattern. This is why Trustline is not positioned as a CRM. It is not just another workflow tool. It is not just another automation layer. Trustline is a governed execution system. Its job is to determine whether operational movement is lawful before execution continues. And if the conditions are not satisfied, the system pauses movement automatically, not emotionally, not politically, mechanically. Inside the walkthrough layer, the organization can see exactly where the operational breakdown begins. Ownership gaps, missing proof, authority conflicts, communication failures, containment events. The point is not to create fear. The point is to create visibility before operational exposure spreads. Because once unsupported work reaches downstream systems, the cost multiplies. Trustline treats unsupported movement as risk, and risk is governed before it spreads. That means communication can pause, execution can pause, external movement can pause, approval chains can pause. The system creates containment before the organization loses operational control. That is the difference between reaction and governance. In the live enforcement layer, every action becomes traceable evidence. If somebody attempts an invalid action, the system records it. If somebody lacks authority, the system blocks it. If execution is lawful, the system records exactly why the movement was permitted. Nothing disappears silently. Nothing mutates invisibly. Execution leaves evidence. This creates something most organizations do not currently possess: operational memory. Most companies repeat the same failures because the organization never preserves the exact conditions that created the failure. Trustline preserves those conditions. It turns operational movement into institutional evidence. That means the organization can learn from breakdowns instead of merely surviving them. Trustline also separates interpretation from authority. That distinction is critical. Mijelli explains. Mijelli interprets, Mijelli teaches, but Mijelli does not govern execution. Trustline governs. The executor executes. Authority remains controlled through actor authorizations and governed runtime enforcement. The AI layer does not replace governance. It operates inside governance. This matters even more as AI systems become more autonomous. The future is not simply more automation. The future is governed automation. Organizations are rapidly building systems capable of generating actions at scale. But most organizations still do not possess enforcement boundaries capable of governing those actions safely. Trustline was designed to solve that problem before it becomes catastrophic. Every movement inside Trustline follows a governed sequence: intent, command, queue, executor, handler, mutation, ledger. That sequence creates operational inevitability. The organization can see how work entered the system, who acted, why movement occurred, what proof existed, and whether governance conditions were satisfied before execution continued. And when governance conditions are not satisfied, the system does not hide the failure. it contains it. Dead letters are not treated as embarrassment, they are treated as evidence. A blocked action is still useful because a blocked action teaches the organization where governance failed. Trustline converts operational pressure into institutional learning. That learning layer becomes visible inside the academy. The academy is not just documentation, it is institutional memory. It explains why.